Hey guys, I'm CJ from ART IS Murder.
My name's Scotty and Lewis from Carnifex. You're watching Metalshop TV.
Okay guys, so it must feel pretty good to play one sold-out show after another. So how are you enjoying this tour so far?
It's awesome. It's great, yeah. It's like we're all friends before this tour started, so we didn't have any of those first week, first day kind of get to know everyone. So regardless of sold-out shows, the tour was going to be great. We were all friends, we all know each other before. I think it's just an added bonus that the shows are selling out. It's like for all bands, we're getting huge crowds for everyone, so it's awesome.
CJ, the last time I spoke to you was at Brutal Assault last year. Yeah. And you said in that interview that you really love Prague. So did you have a time to go around our beautiful capital town today?
Not today, because we have this. You ruined my whole Prague day. So if I didn't have interviews, I would have went. But we're kind of a bit out of the city. I walked like a couple of kilometers into downtown today. It's just too far away from the main part. But you know, every other time I've been to Prague, I spend the whole day on scooters and go around, see everything. But unfortunately today, I've seen trams and trains. That is all.
That's also pretty cool. Yeah. And Scott, how about you? Did you have a time to explore a city? Not today, but in the past?
Yeah, in the past we have, for sure. I think maybe this is our 5th or 6th time here, possibly more. But yeah, we've definitely been able to go around the city when the weather's beautiful and go see, just go see all the fun stuff. Today, we're in the thick of it. So it's just kind of more like just a show day, Everybody's trying to stay sharp for the gig,
Okay. So give us a little insight into your relationship of your bands or your friendship of your bands. Where did it start and how did it happen?
What do you mean, Europe?
Yeah.
Like the summer festivals like Empiricon or something?
Yeah, I think the first time we crossed paths was probably like 2015, 2014.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Somewhere in there. And yeah, I mean, this is our 2nd tour together now.
Yep.
And we might be working on a 3rd one.
Yeah.
So are you feeling connected?
Yeah, definitely. I think, not just us and Carnifex, but us and Fiat as well. Yeah. Also Rivers of Nile, we've toured the US before with them. We've never met I Am up until this tour. But yeah, great dudes, super humble, super like low-key, chill guys, young guys that are just hungry to play shows wherever they can. So I think it's a really good mixed bill for this tour. Everyone is in a similar style, but still separate in their own ways. And everyone's getting along really well. Everyone's kind of relaxed. So yeah, killer.
Great times.
Yeah, it is, man. And I'm getting older, so I fucking like finish the show, I eat, I shower, I brush my hair, and I watch Sopranos, and I go to sleep.
That's perfect. Yeah. Well, maybe you don't like the deathcore questions, sure, but you are considered as the pioneers of that subgenre, if that really exists. Yeah. So let's go back to, let's say, 2010. Did you know that you are starting something completely new in the metal genre? And what was it like to be in an extreme band in 2010? What was it like?
You'd have to answer first because we looked up to you guys when we started.
Well, Steve, 2010 was the year we released Hell Chose Me. So you actually got to go back a little bit first. So 2005 was when Carnifex started. And I can tell you exactly what it was like. We were a deathcore band when deathcore wasn't a word. And we would play shows with metalcore bands and screamo bands and get hassled. And get, fuck you and get off the stage because we weren't doing, you remember clean singing was real big at the time, like kind of the As I Lay Dying type metalcore of like, we're heavy and then we're gonna be pretty boys. That was all anyone cared about at the time. So doing blast beats, breakdowns, and breeze was the stupidest thing ever. And we really struggled early on. We got traction online with MySpace, but when we would play shows with metalcore bands, those fans didn't know what deathcore was. It didn't exist. They weren't ready for it, and we took a lot of shit for it early on. I mean, we still do. People still make fun of us because we're a deathcore band. So, have at it,
So CJ, how was it for you in 2010?
Exactly the same. We're the only deathcore band in our country, like, you know, and there wasn't that many bands around. We didn't even specifically choose to be deathcore. We just wanted, we were like listening to Decapitated and Meshuggah, and like, let's just be something that's not a new metal, like a metalcore band or a hardcore band. So we were only playing with hardcore bands. There was nothing else for us. Same thing as Scott mentioned, like people were like, fuck you guys. Like I was getting bashed by like straight edge gangs at shows because we'd have young kids come out to our shows, and then because we're playing with hardcore bands, the hardcore gangs would come out who are my age and older and would think it would be cool to punch 14-year-old kids in the face. So I'd stop a show and say, fuck you, you're not a man, you're a fucking, you're scum. You can't even fight a real man. You're fighting kids, you fucking weak cunts. And then they wouldn't do anything until after the show. I'd walk out the back door and there'd be 10 dudes waiting for me, and then they'd kick the shit out of me because I stood up for young kids. And the same thing, you know, they're like, no one accepted us. Exactly how Scott mentioned it as well. You know, MySpace, Facebook started getting a lot of traction for us, and then people were like welcoming to the style of music. So I think especially for us in Carnifex, we had a hard run to get to where we are. And you know, if it wasn't for bands like Carnifex and Whitechapel, for us, we wouldn't be a band. You know, they were the bands I was listening to, like especially Carnifex and Whitechapel. Other than that, it was like Poison the Well and, you know, Dillinger Escape Plan. I didn't really listen to like that much new metal other than Parkway Drive. So for me, it was, you know, it was Carnifex and Whitechapel that made me go, no, let's keep doing this. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah, and for some reason, and maybe you already answered that question, but for some reason, it seems to me like even in this day, some people get offended by that label deathcore. Are you feeling it the same way, and why do you think that happens?
I think
it's really strange.
You know, I kind of think the whole like genre title thing is something, you know, 'cause, so we're at 15 years. We're kind of on our second wave of a fan base, and so they're like this kind of newer, younger kids that are like 15 to 20. So they're, you know, 15 to 10 years younger than I am, and I've noticed that those kids, unlike kids my age when the band was coming up, they don't really care about like the genre thing as much.
Yeah.
And so I want to hope that people are just more like, I enjoy this band and I enjoy this band, and it's less about.
Definitely, yeah. I'm exactly Scott. You know, when I think of like a metalcore band, in my head I think of like the side fringe emo, the snake bites and size small shirts on an extra large dude. I'm like, we're not that. And then people go, oh, so you're a screamo band. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, and that shit irritates me. At the end of the day, if like somebody doesn't know who I am or what I do, and they say, oh, you're playing a band, I just say, I play in a metal band. That's it. Like Scott said, like, I think people are too worried about splicing down a huge genre into tiny little fragments and calling them different things. At the end of the day, it's all fucking metal.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter.
Definitely. Well, but that was past, and a lot of things happened since then. And now we are here, and you are selling out, you know, venues across the Europe. So, what is it like to be in a metal band in 2020 for you? Is it better than it was in 2010, and how would you compare it?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to compare because I think both us and Carnifex are at different levels now. So I don't think that really matters so much as far as the year. I think it matters of where we are in our career. You know, our band has developed, it's got its own fan base. You know, there is die-hard Carnifex fans that only listen to Carnifex. There's die-hard fans that only listen to die-hard. You know, like we have our own subgenre within a subgenre for our own things now. So, you know, just based on how many fans that are like that for both of us, we'll always do well. I don't know what the difference is between 2010 and 2000 now, but all I know is our bands are bigger, we're more successful, we appreciate what we have, and the funny thing is, both our bands are still growing.
That's the best news, honestly.
That's the most important thing of them all.
Yeah, we haven't plateaued yet. It's like, you know, I'm still waiting for it because I'm getting anxiety about it. Like, okay, maybe this tour is the tour where we go, fuck, this is how big we're going to be for the rest of our life. And it hasn't happened, and it's great, but like, I overthink things, and I get so like nervous, like for when we plateau and we go, oh, okay, this is where our peak is. But it hasn't happened yet. Like Scott said, there's a new wave of young people coming in. And not only that, but I think now you see the drop off of bands like Slayer and these like crucial metal bands that have been around for 30, 40 years. They're kind of dropping off. And because the older generation, much older than us, are going to festivals, they're hearing about Carnifex, they're hearing about us, they're hearing about like Knock Loose and like all these other bands. So they're going to check them out. The older generation are very hard to bring across to the younger music, but you see a lot of, you know, Silver Foxes and older dudes at shows now too, which for us is super awesome, because these guys grew up with the kings of metal, and now they're giving us time to play for them, so that's great as well. When you bring them to you, they will stick with you forever. So hopefully, if we do the right thing by them, you know, that it's like a relationship. Even if you don't meet these people, there is a relationship there. Okay, so let's talk about your latest releases. First, let's start with the Human Target. Came out 6 months ago. There is some time for reflection. So how are you satisfied with the impact that that record made? To be honest, I don't really care. Like, I want it to do well, but I don't read reviews. I don't like read comments or anything. For me, it's when you do your headline shows, that's where you see it. So obviously this tour, the Shotweb, we booked bigger venues than what we thought we could play. Yeah. Then they sold out. That's enough proof for anybody that is in the band, anybody that works for us, our friends, our colleagues, the bands that we tour with, the people that don't like us, the people that think that we're a hype band, think that we're a poser band or a deathcore band. Look at the ticket sales, look at the numbers, that should be enough. You know, if we did a fucking average record, we wouldn't be selling out venues. So for me, that the only way to really see the proof of how well we're doing is shows. Yeah. Doesn't matter, because all the bullshit you see, oh, this record did 15,000 in their first week. Anything you read in any fucking magazine, whether it be the big ones or the small ones, it's all fictitious, it's all bullshit. It's all paid by some fucking record label to a journalist to twist up the figures so they can get a bit more hype and maybe get on that Slipknot tour or maybe back up this fucking other tour. So for me, none of that shit fucking matters. I don't give a fuck you did 1 million in your first week. Show me what your shows look like. Other than that, I don't believe you. What? That's the way to put it. Done. Okay. And now a question for you, Scott. World War X was your last album. How would you compare this one to your previous ones? What would you say was the biggest difference? And also, how are you satisfied with how this record was received by fans?
You know, the record was different in a lot of ways. It was probably most different in theme and lyric than it was necessarily in musical style. We were trying to definitely push it. I mean, it's a really guitar-driven record, and it really showcases a lot of guitar stuff and songwriting stuff. I think what it made us want to do was just, we spent so much time trying to be songwriters on that album that we just kind of want to keep writing. And so we actually have already started on the next one. So I think, I don't know if I can speak to like how the industry feels the record is doing, but internally, it was a great record for us because it was one of those things where we said, hey, this is the kind of record we want to write. And we felt pretty good with the execution of it. And that feeling is like kind of a really powerful wind in our creative sails for the next one, because it was like, hey, we wanted to do this thing and we were able to do it. So internally, it gives us like a creative confidence to kind of just keep doing different things. We want to switch it up every album just a little bit, you know, like World War X was a little bit different, but it was still us, and we want to do that every time.
And it must be a beautiful feeling.
I really love writing, honestly. It's really fun. I enjoy it.
Okay. And now a question for you, both of you guys. Both titles, Human Target and World War X, sounds to me like something really bleak and grim, and that we might be in a big trouble as a humanity. What would you say is the ultimate message behind those titles?
For us, it's just everyone's targeted for some reason. Even if it's like an honest, simple thing, we're all targeted via our social media accounts. You know, if we're sitting here talking about ice cream, I'm going to go backstage and have a cigarette, and I'll look on Instagram and an ad for ice cream will come up. Then I'll get an email about a famous Czech place that eats ice cream. I'm being targeted for something that I'm talking about, and I don't give people permission to listen to me talk. But because every time I download an app and I say, please allow for my locations, or the fine print, like, we're all targeted for some reason, whether it's like because of our sex, our religion, our color of our skin, what music we listen to. Like, we're all targeted for some reason, and some of these things will ruin like mankind. So that was the basis of Human Target, as in a nutshell, and the song mainly. Otherwise, I'll ramble on for another half an hour about the rest of the record. So, as Human Target for a song, that's basically it.
For you, Scott?
Yeah, for World War X, really, it's the title is a bit subversive. The whole theme is everything's out on a mass battlefield, a big dystopian wasteland. But really, lyrically, it's about an internal war, and that's kind of what the X stands for. It's your own internal war. But much like a world war, it's all hands on deck, and wherever you go, there's conflict. And I think it's kind of a parallel for some of our interior lives, where, we're fighting battles on the inside, and we don't win them all. You lose some ground here, and you make some ground up there. And that was kind of the idea for World War X was you. It's your war.
Okay, so CJ, you said that the song Chemical Christ deals with your past drug addiction and is very personal to you.
Yeah.
Right now, you seem like you are in a much better and healthier place.
Sure.
Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, every day is a struggle for me. I have certain things that, like, I am dealing with on a daily basis. But being sober and clean, it makes it far easier to do it. I take certain medication to help me feel happier and more social at times, even though I don't really, I don't know, it's hard. Life's hard. I don't use any of my conditions as a form of, this is the reason why I am the way I am. I fucking hate it when people say, I've got anxiety, or I've got depression, I can't come to work today, or I can't do this, or I'm an asshole because I have this. Fuck all that bullshit. Like, but yeah, definitely being sober makes it a bit easier for me to deal with day-to-day things. My life is very stressful and very busy in and out of the band. I have a lot going on outside of the band as well. But yeah, Chemical Christ is written basically about me. It was written by me, partially, about how I viewed myself, and then our guitarist Andy wrote how he saw me destroy myself and destroy everyone around me. And then another third party was me writing on some of my best friends back home that also have major drug problems. So yeah, it was really cool to write a song like that, because it was very, very personal about my journey through my destructive past with drugs, for sure.
And when you stop with drinking and drugs, then you suddenly realize you have so much time. That's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's
you can do so much work in one day.
Yeah, but then I come on tour and I don't do fucking anything. I do 1 hour work a day, and then I walk around in the freezing cold going, fuck this place. So when I'm home, I'm busy, man. But no, tour is great. But yeah, I got a baby at home and stuff, so he keeps me very busy at home as well with my shop as well. So. But yeah, I wish I cleaned my life up many years ago. I wish I didn't wait so long.
Okay, that's great. And now a question for you, Scott. Tell me a bit more about your work with Elisa from Arch Enemy. Okay. Was it like, did you know from the start that you want to work with her, or for a long time? Or was it like, we've got a good song and we can make it even greater by adding her?
We knew that we wanted to have Elisa on the album. She was the only, we pursued her from the beginning. It wasn't like, let's get a guest, and we just went for whoever. We wanted her from the beginning, and when we started writing that song, we knew it was the song that we were going to ask her to be on. So it was written with her in mind from day one. And then a good friend of ours that works at the label, Tommy Jones, he does video content. He had done some stuff for her. He was able to connect us. I sent her the pre-pro and the lyrics, and she enjoyed the material, and we just traded some ideas back and forth. And when the song came out pretty good, we said, what do you think about doing the video? So, you know, spent all the money and made the video. And yeah, it was really fun.
The song kicks ass, so
the song kicks ass,
off.
and she's a wonderful person. She was really, like, that was a hard shoot. You know, we were out in the middle of the California desert, like 4 hours from anything, and she was just a pro actress the whole time. And it was a full day shoot. We were on, you know, they were there all day, and she was rad. The whole shoot was rad. It was fun.
Okay, cool. And the last question for you guys: what is next for your both bands? I guess more touring and touring and touring, or are you thinking maybe of next albums? I've heard an interview with you, Scott, where you said you are already maybe thinking or talking with another band members about maybe doing something.
I mean, yeah.
Our answer will be exactly the same for both of us, and you answered it yourself.
Okay.
Lots and lots of touring, potentially again together, and then another record. That I'm not speaking for Scott, but I'm pretty sure I summed it up.
No, that's it. Yeah, we're excited to stay on the road and get another record going. Like, kind of like this tour is exemplifying. I think people are maybe starting to give some of us deathcore bands a chance and realize, like, it's actually just great metal, and everyone here is just having fun, and it doesn't need to be anything different at all. And so hopefully people have really just come around to having a good time at a show, and so we want to stay on the road and keep putting music out.
Okay, guys, so thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to the future.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.